Welcome, Libra, to this, your 2023 annual forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant. And if you'd like to find out more about me, just check out the description in the box below. And of course, to find your in-depth monthly readings, please go to the playlist on my channel if you're not already a subscriber and being notified. I think you need to be notified to get the input into your... You could be a subscriber, but if you don't press the notification, apparently you don't get told that videos are there. But now what I'm going to do is take 5 cards. I'm going to take 12 cards, in fact, because I'm going to take one for each of the months of the year. And we'll see what there is in store for you. So let's have a look. First one for January, the Queen of Pentacles. Fascinating. February is the King of Swords. Well, 2 people so far. I wonder what they have to say. There is the Four of Wands, I would call it. There is Temperance. What is in here? Actually, what's in here? See what there is. The Chariot. And one more for this half of the year for June, and it is the Knight of Wands. Now, let's see what's going for the second half of the year. First, there is the Knight of Pentacles. Gee, lots of people here for you. I wonder what it all means. Well, we're going to find out in just a second. There is Judgment. Here is the Page of Wands. I told you there's a lot of people around, didn't I? Well, that's natural. Page of Pentacles. It's all people you might know. There is Death, and is there something in here that we might get? Let's have a look for December, and it is what? The Five of Wands. Okay, why don't you come sit down next to me? I'll bring the camera around, we'll have a good close look at the imagery on these cards together while I do the reading for you. Wow, look at that spread for you for this year, Libra 2023. Let's have a look at this first one for January, the Queen of Pentacles. Well, I think it might be something to do with your health here. She is the Queen of the Thrones of Earth. Incidentally, court cards can be of either gender, as you probably know. Look, you're going to be ambitious, but I think it's a time for you to work with your instinct and intuition rather than your intellect. When I say your intellect, don't over-intellectualize things at the moment, but use your experience, use the tried and true methods. And I think as a result, you'll be seen to be hard-working, practical, sensible. And this is good for you. You know, you're going to take on the finer qualities of the quieter aspects of people's character, but I think there's also the case here that you are actually going to be quite lusty and sexy as well. Nothing like bringing in the new year with a bang. Now, charming is what you're going to be, and I think that people are going to find you very sexually attractive, so do with that what you will. I'm sure you've had plenty of experience in having to fight off attentions from people. Now, what is important to you at this time is that you do concentrate on physical nourishment, is what I'm getting here. Now, I think that this is a good year for you as a result of this card turning up in January, because I think that this signifies that you are overcoming what has maybe been something of a barren past. The good thing is, though, is that she represents prosperity and security. So keep a practical, compassionate, nurturing attitude to others and your own circumstances, and kind of just go with the flow during January. Yeah, I'm really getting the feeling of diet as being something important here for you. Maybe with Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that, it might be time that you're thinking, I need to get some exercise. But go forward quietly without an overt attack on existing conditions, because there's plenty of time for that coming into February. Let's have a look at that. Here we have the Lord of Wind and Breezes. This is telling me that Gemini and Taurus are likely to be important to you here for some reason. Now, why am I getting Gemini and Taurus? I think it's because you're going to have the energy of the mind in Gemini with the influence of the stability and determination of Taurus. You are going to be active, clever, skillful, fierce and courageous, although I have to say that you might be quite impulsive or impetuous at times, because he represents the idea of attack, of the violent power of motion applied. He is the wind, the storm, and I think you will be quite skillful, subtle and clever, very goal-oriented and ambitious, and you'll have very flexible intellectual powers, and there's a great degree of passion around here, so maybe you'll be able to make use of that sexual attractiveness. There is, however, nevertheless, I think, time when you need to time to tie a few things off. Now look at this image. What are you giving to me? Yeah, I think there's time to tie off a few loose ends here, which have dragged over into the new year, and now it's the end of the first quarter. Look, this is Venus ruling Aries. Well, Venus needs to get into the opposite side of the zodiac to get into Aries, where it's going to sit next to Mars. And you think that's going to be a problem? Ordinarily it might be, but with Temperance here and with that King of Swords, this is really firing. That air is really blasting this fire of the Four of Wands, or the Four of Fire. And the Four is, for me, about foundation, completeness, progress, power, and stability. So I think that you're going to be looking for, with Venus in Aries, completion of things. This is, after all, the Lord of perfected work. There's the possibility of new beginnings. This is telling you, though, that just go for it, because this is a green light to success, and there's foundation here. The first stage to completion, possibly setting up a new house or moving home is what I'm getting here. The circle is full. All contradictions and opposites come together and they connect. The harmony between male and female, active and passive, has returned, and the fire of creativity is kindled by this wind blowing in from this direction. And when I say this direction, of course, I mean it's kindled by the wind blowing in and taking on this fiery Four of Fire. We have Temperance. The first thing is that there's a lot of Sagittarius energy around Temperance, so you'll be goal-oriented and you'll be swift. You'll have the swiftness of the arrow that Sagittarius brings to you. Now, this is talking about, I actually call her the daughter of the reconcilers, the bringer forth of life. I think what's going on here is that this is about the unification of opposites, balance, and a lot of inner change, transformation. I think what this is talking about here, the energy with this, followed by this 7 of the Chariot here, is talking about a great quantum leap. There's an enormous well of creative power for you to draw upon. And there's action based on an accurate assessment of what's going on out there in the environment. And there is success after what may have been a history of elaborate and frustrating events. I have to say also this. I'm very much getting the feeling here that you get away with something, that you get out of doing something, that it provides a bonus to you, and that's all I'll say about that. Now, I think what is happening is that you are going to be doing some balancing. You're learning to bring about balance and moderation in your life. Be patient and let things evolve at their natural pace. Do some self-evaluation to re-examine your life's priorities and work in harmony from a place of stability and strength, which at this time is going to, reside in you. Look, in summary, I think that the central theme here is on reintegration. This can also reflect a period of self-evaluation in order to re-examine your priorities. You now are seeking a much greater balance between your inner and outer selves, searching for a higher meaning and purpose in life. Now, you might be experiencing during this time a clash between your habits and your new vision. Well, just trust your inner self. But whatever you're doing it's working, because here, next in May, we have the Chariot. Now, this is a particularly good time of year to be getting this. It's a good pick-me-up throughout the year. This is talking about new beginnings and a change for the good. Now, there is some introspection and meditation, and I'm not surprised by that, because you have been going through the process of examining your priorities here. Now, what this is talking about is victory over adversity. Now, you've come through a difficult period, last year, I think, and you will overcome the difficulties. You're going to have the courage to act. Now, you'll have the courage to act. That's important, because it's not enough merely to want to act. You actually got to execute the desire. And there is a success here over previous negative patterns. I think you might focus on self-discipline. And there's also a period of rest and contemplation here. But in any event, you will, as a result of you examining your goals here, be moving towards higher goals, but remain centered and protective of yourself. And then in June, we have the Prince of the Chariot of Fire, by the looks of it, to the uninitiated, known as the Knight of Wands. And my good friend is telling me that you are going to have things to do with Leo at this period, probably Cancer as well. Now, this is a very dynamic energy with a strong Leo influence around it here. With the heart of a lion, you'll stand for honesty and integrity, and in what you believe to be for the good. There is a strong sense of morality to this energy here. I think he also represents a turning point when things were going badly. So you've got that real double dose of that energy pushing you forward and pushing you forward to success that's going on here. So you have to use his energy and his enthusiasm to drive, to move on for better things. And now is the right time to do it. In a sense, the Chariot is sort of waiting for things to happen. And now what you're doing is you're putting action into progress and into gear. And you've got to wear the same confidence that he has. Look, I think what he's also doing he's reminding you to engage in life and take any challenge that comes your way and overcome it. And have a lust for life, because you are going to be swift and strong. Again, maybe quite impulsive, I think. There's a sense of violence around you. Not that you're going to be violent, but there is the capacity to be violent if need be, because you'll be just, noble, and generous, and with a really good sense of humour. I think what's also coming here is there's an intensity to your character at this time, and I see blossoming love. This may well be in a committed relationship, or it could be in a relationship, if it's not committed, that's been kind of seeing how things go, that love might well blossom. And certainly there's a great degree of intuitive creativity, which is really taking you out of darkness and into the light. Now in July, here's another knight. What have you got to say to us, knight? Come into focus as a good fellow. Now it's also interesting that, I'll just pull that out again, it's also interesting that he was sitting underneath this Queen of Pentacles and beside this Judgment card, which we're getting to next. So because he's got that configuration to him, he means, for me, that Taurus and Aries are going to be important to you, and you're going to be very energetic, and you'll be a very capable manager, a steadfast worker. Now you'll be slow to anger, but look out if you have been enraged. There's a real mastery of structure and design around here. That may refer to gardening. It doesn't mean to say you're going to put up a skyscraper, but it can relate to things like landscaping, gardening, fixing things up around your home, that design area, fashion, makeup. These are the types of things that come about here. Do you know, nothing is going to stop you, and nothing will break your determination to reach your goal at the most time. And it is particularly in the most important and serious situations that you will prove again and again that you are unshakable and you possess prudence, a common sense and perseverance. I really do think that you'll come to the decision that you're going to be taking responsibility for your life and what is necessary to do. And you'll be putting a lot of effort into practical things. And this is a time in your life when you will be very goal-oriented and want to sort out the material side of your life, as well as your health, career things, those things which are tangible to you. And that takes us then into August. July, very, very motivating energy there in July. Now here in August, I think as a result of that motivation that you have in July, you are going to be coming up with and making a decision which has a major impact on your life. And that might be a lifestyle or a job, but in any event, this decision is one that is going to turn out to be very positive. Now, it may not appear to be a great big deal at the time, but you are going to look back and you're going to say to yourself, I see what happened there. Now it's time for you to move on after seeing the bigger picture. So take time out to see the bigger picture. I think that this is going to be a natural period of growth and shedding of things and people which no longer serve you. And when I say people that no longer serve you, I mean it in a good way. Do you know how sometimes, time just means that we outgrow certain relationships or certain friendships? I think this is likely to be happening to you at this time here. Now, there's a person after this card, and it's beside 2 pages next to each other. Well, that's important. So what does it mean? And next to Judgment, and he is below this 4 of Wands. All right. Well, that means to me that you are going to have things to do with Leo, Virgo, Cancer during this period. You could be categorized at this time as a person of really huge appetites, of passion, of whatever kind, and entirely reckless in the means of obtaining satisfaction and gratification. In a sense, you are going to be insatiable. I think what this does is that this is saying to me that you are going to be extremely individualistic during this period here, and you will create your own beauty by your essential vigor and energy. In fact, you are going to bedazzle, and in anger or in love, you might be sudden, violent, and implacable. You will be ambitious, and you'll sometimes be, I say this with respect, sometimes be irrationally enthusiastic about people or projects. But in any event, I think the way to categorize you or characterize you at this time is that you will be energetic, individualistic, brilliant and daring, and very expressive in love or in anger. Certainly a great enthusiasm for things here. You also will, at this time, will be freed from fear. There's new beginnings here, optimism, and you'll have an increased perception as to what really matters. Now, this says to me also that you will be kind and benevolent, as I say, but following your will or true purpose in life. So this energy is about getting in touch with that most important aspect and protecting it. Like the princess is gently holding that coin that's there. This is a very productive time for you after what might be, you think, something of a barren stretch. Now, I think that you'll be peaceful by nature, and you'll be able to deal with conflict. But I am getting the feeling of marriage around here, or parenthood. And it's very good for domestic life, that is, around the home, whether or not you have an outside career. Something new is entering into your life. Prepare yourself and say to yourself that I am now ready for the new beauty in my life. Now we come in November to this card number 13, Death. Actually, in the old days, they never used to say death. It was just called card number 13. Now, I call it the child of the great transformers, the lord of the gate of death. And what we have here is, obviously, I think, becoming free of old ensnarements. You know how you've lost fear? You become free of the ensnaring subconscious patterns of thought. There's endings here. You're letting go of emotional attachments that aren't serving you. It's the end of an era or a cycle. It's a transformation going on. Now, something in your life is dissolving, dying, or disintegrating. Now, whether that be a structure you have created, a pattern, a habit, or some way of thinking about yourself and the world. Now, of course, this is necessary for new beginnings and transformation in your life. It's a period of great transformation and facing your darkest fears, which you will overcome. But remember, the darkest hour is just before the dawn. Now, in order to grow and abandon the old, death is your protection against stagnation. So you should welcome this period. You are being forced, I think, to leave behind what you have outgrown. But this cycle started back here, I think, in August. It's also about facing fear and breaking your limits. You need to grow to learn your life's lessons. Now, the transformation can bring about things which cut away that which doesn't serve you in your life anymore. And then finally, to December, we have the Five of Fire. Now, a lot of association with Mars that's here, but it's Saturn in the first decan of Leo. And Saturn and Leo don't get on because Leo is creative and expressive, and Saturn tends to come in like a lead balloon and want to dampen down the fire of Leo. Well, I think what we really see here is traditionally one might think that there was a degree of strife involved, but I actually see it as being something in the context of all of these cards that is here, and in particular this card here, which has transformed you, following on from this whole row here. This is a time when I think that you are going to be competing, not necessarily formally competing, but I think in a sense, in an underlying way, competing with other people. Now, it might be competing against people of your own gender, is what I'm getting here, in the sense that you may be trying to win someone's affection or to obtain a goal, and there are other people who are just as attractive as you are, maybe in a different sort of a way though, or who have similar skills that you have, and that you therefore decide, well, I'm now in competition. And this will tell you what competition is about. But you know, you're going to do fine in this, you know, because one thing that you have to say about you is you have a natural attractiveness and a persuasive charm, which is going to get you through anything to do with interpersonal relationships. What a fantastic set of cards, and what a great year for you. Good job. Well, I hope you enjoyed that reading as much as I enjoyed providing it to you. I think that this is going to be a fantastic 2023 for you. Truly I do. And I think it's something that you should be looking forward to, and because it's got great things in store, as you have just seen. And do have a look at the monthly readings that I provide, and you can check that out on the playlist or subscribe and get notified so that you see where the things are. But until I see you again, remember one thing, and it is this, that You are a legend, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. And until then, it's bye for now.